Something I've been thinking about: gratitude. I've had the tremendous pleasure to study what I now know and recognize as consciousness and human potential studies over the last really 30 years. And it all began as a result of this gentleman whom I met and for whom I have a tremendous amount of gratitude 30 years ago now. This would have been the spring of 1993. And I met this gentleman in Atlanta. We were talking, and I don't know what caused him to make this recommendation to me, but he did. And he recommended this book, and he shakes my hand and he says to me, "Young man, I've changed your life for the rest of your life." And looking back over the last 30 years now, I can say that no truer words had been uttered to me than in that moment, because him recommending this book, now mind you, this is pre-Amazon and pre-being able to go online to order books. I then called around to several bookstores in Atlanta to see if they could secure the book for me. I found one. I then had to convince a friend of mine at the time to use their car to drive me out there to pay for the book in advance and wait until I was contacted that the book was in fact available. Several weeks go by, I get a call, and I then go back out there with my friend's assistance to the bookstore to secure the book for study. I began studying the book, thoroughly loved the book and its message of really recognizing that deep within each of us rests this well of potentiality. And I had some profound experiences as a result of studying that book. I then ran into that gentleman in Atlanta again, the fall of '94, downtown near Georgia State, where I did my undergraduate degrees. And he says to me, "Young man, did you secure a copy of the book?" I said, "Yes, sir." He says, "Did you study the book?" I said, "Yes, sir." He says, "What were your results?" And my response to him was, where do I even begin? And that's where I'd like to encourage each of us to think about our journeys, think about the people that have crossed our paths, the subtle messages that they may have given us, some even direct messages, and the books they may have recommended, in this case, contemporarily, the podcasts they may have recommended that we listen to, and how those podcasts, those messages have impacted our lives. And I think back to that gentleman often and how my feet being placed on this path led me to transcendental meditation, led me to Rosicrucianism, led me to Freemasonry, led me to the doctoral program studying consciousness and human potential, whereby I ended up earning my PhD for the study of mystical experiences among Freemasons. And so today I just want to spend a moment of gratitude to say thank you to all those who have guided me along this journey, those who know that you've assisted me along the way, and those who may suspect that you had a hand in my trajectory. You did, and I want to say thank you for that. Even those who, as Carlos Castaneda refers to them, the petty tyrants, because the petty tyrants can serve also to a purpose in one's life, to fuel one to move forward. And often what we view as petty tyrants in this life may have really in another life been a catalyst for us to be and do better, and could be argued also too in this life to be just that. So I wanted to take a moment to express a tremendous amount of gratitude to those who have guided me along the way, both seen and unseen, and the many people, the books, the ideas to which I've been exposed, because those ideas, the ways of thinking that resulted from being exposed to those ideas, allow me to do the work that my wife and I get to do today. And it's just a joy to think about that, I was plucked out of Atlanta to go to Iowa to resume graduate school in this study of Vedic science, and learned a tremendous amount, experienced a tremendous amount, and now have this foundation that allows me to go into the world and share these ancient precepts and principles and ideas with people to help them begin to recognize that, as I've said elsewhere, first and foremost, we are within the universe. We're governed by the laws within the universe. The universe is roughly 13.8 billion years old. And so you realize that the span of our lives is a very short time. And as we begin to recognize the constructs that we create as humans, they can either serve a larger purpose or they can serve ourselves. Those that serve a larger purpose tend to really impact tremendous amounts of people, whereas those that only serve us only serve us. And oftentimes, when we really think about it, not to our best, and oftentimes can be actually detrimental to us in the long term. And it's not unlike this quote comes from Albert Pike, where he says, "What we do for ourselves alone dies with us, but what we do for others in the world outlives us and is immortal." And, when you really think about our lives and the people with whom we come into contact, the question then becomes, how do we choose to live our lives? The ideas that we're exposed to cause us to think and do differently. And for me, in this moment, it's really about expressing gratitude, because I look back over the course of my life, and as you know, I'm working on this book and getting a chance to reflect on the people, the events, experiences, some good, some not so good. They'll all be in the book. And just how each of them have helped me to become the man that I'm becoming, and to become an even better husband, an even better dad, a better father, a better teacher, a better speaker, just a better overall human being. And I just wanted to say that I have a tremendous amount of gratitude to all the women and men who have crossed my path and in one way or another have helped me to become the man that I've become. And yes, even those challenging situations, because, it could be argued that, were it not for those challenging situations, I might not be as I am at present. I'm reminded of an interview that Prince did with Oprah Winfrey. And he talked about how if he were to remove any one of the experiences of the relationships that he'd had up to that point, his entire life would be really discombobulated, was the term he used. And I love that, because it highlights how that every experience, even the ones that are not so good, they have a message for us. And every exchange is an opportunity for us to learn. And so I figured I'd just come on today and say, encourage you to examine your life and review those moments where the parties, the experiences produced a tremendous amount of gratitude in your life, and that have allowed you to become a better being, and not just for yourself, but also for others as well. So that's what I've been thinking about lately, gratitude and just my journey. And it's, going through this book and writing this book, it's incredibly cathartic and just allowing me to reflect on my journey. And that gratitude is paramount, because that famous phrase is, "Were it not for the grace of God, there go I." It's a very profound statement, and one that I completely accept. And just having a tremendous amount of gratitude for this journey and looking forward to what is to come. So again, today's message is all about gratitude. Until next time.